join me today as we go in search of America's first TV family from Los Angeles, California. Hi, Jenn of Walk with History, historian, veteran, and huge fan of Ozzie and Harriet. I actually watch them every Christmas. Scott of Walk with History has been mistaken for Ricky Nelson on more than one occasion. And I actually seen his sons, Nelson, in concert doing a tribute concert to their father. But I'm in search of the actual home, their home that they lived in. Now, the TV show was filmed on a set, but the house was based off of their house. And some of the external shots for Ozzie and Harriet were actually shot here at this house. So I actually found it, 1822 Camino Palmero Street. But this is the house of Ozzie and Harriet, and you can see the door there where the family would come out and stand. How neat is that? I heard when this house was sold as well that Ricky Nelson had written his name on the back of the door in his closet in his bedroom, and they had painted around it and kept it because of the history this home has and its place in American history. So Ozzie and Harriet was like that original TV family, and they were a real family. They weren't a fake family on TV, they were an actual family. Ozzie and Harriet were on a radio show together and got married, and then they had two boys, David and Ricky, and David and Ricky became the boys. You saw them grow up on the Ozzie and Harriet show, and then they eventually got married. Their wives came on the show. But and then Rick Nelson, of course, became a music star, probably one of the first rock and roll performances on television. So it's just so neat to be here and to be at the house. We're going to go in search of more Ozzie and Harriet here today. I'm on the front steps of Ozzie and Harriet's house. Can you believe it? This is where they walked. This is where they lived. While searching for Ozzie and Harriet Nelson, I found Ricky Nelson. So born Eric Hilliard Nelson, everyone called him Ricky. He dies in a plane crash on New Year's Eve, 1985, at only 45 years old, leaving behind 4 children. Probably considered one of the first rock and rollers of all time, first to record rock and roll on TV.
When the preps first began, before we even had a contract, we called every high school and junior high in L.A. and said, we will do a free show for you. We do all the current hits and the crew cuts. And free, yes, we'll come and do it free. It's clean. Boom, you can call Uni High. We did their show. So we used to go and do shows around. And this afternoon we had booked a show at a high school on the west side.
Hamilton High School.
Hamilton High, thank you. And we were loading up on the lot, having been given the afternoon off by Ozzie, who was so great about that. Oh, you got an assembly? Sure, we'll work around, don't worry. So we're loading up, and Rick came by. We said, come on with us, Rick. He said, oh, well, he wasn't in any shots that day, so we thought he'd come with us. He came with us, grabbed his guitar, and got in the car with us. He never went anywhere without his guitar. And we got over to school, we did our first 2 or 3 numbers, and by then we had a little bit of a reputation, so the kids were very responsive to our first couple of numbers. And then Glenn said, would you like to have us bring out our buddy on stage? He's with us today, Ricky Nelson, and sing? And I looked off, and Rick, I've never seen panic like that. He took off for the back door. Well, the other 3 of us, Glenn and Ed, I should say Ed and Marvin, and I ran over, grabbed him, literally picked him up. He's got 1 foot dragging on the ground, and they carried him out on stage. Well, when the girls, of course, saw it was actually him, they went crazy. Now, this is in the 50s where everything's
he wasn't planning on performing. He was just hanging out with you guys for the afternoon.
He was hanging out with us for the afternoon. He had no idea we were going to call on him. And when he came out, and he had a funny expression he used to get when crazy things were happening. His eyes would get real big, and he's got looking. And they were screaming. Now the regimented 50s, mind you, all the girls left their seats and ran down for the stage, clawing at him, wanting the whole thing. We barely escaped with our lives. They tore our clothes. When we came out in the driveway, Glenn's old beat-up Oldsmobile, which is what we'd driven over, to escape, there were bodies all over. You couldn't even see the car. And we're trying to work our way in and open the door to get in. And as we get in, we're trying to squeeze out as the, mob of people in front of us want to stop us. And now we get in the car and we're heading home. And usually after a show like that, you're sky high and screaming and yelling. And we are, and we're all screaming and high-fiving and yelling and laughing. And then all of a sudden, we all get kind of silent. And I swear to God, we all kind of reflecting, oh, my God, what's happening to our buddy? And then I'd make eye contact with Rick, and he'd break up again, and we'd all break up again, and then we'd go, and we'd get silent again. So, there we were in this beat-up old Oldsmobile heading back from Hamilton High, and I'm thinking, someday Life magazine is going to make up the expression for this guy. Well, they did. It was Teen Idol.
Yeah, here's Ricky Nelson. I mean, we saw him grow up on national television. This is part of the first famous TV family. He is the younger son. Cute kid, married Chris Hammond. She was Mark Hammond's sister from NCIS, and they got married and they had 4 children together. But it's so cool to be here with Ricky Nelson. Again, he's not far. This is Forest Lawn Cemetery in Los Angeles, and you have a really nice view of the San Fernando Valley from up here.
Hi, Mom.
Well, hi. That didn't take you very long. What'd you get for Betty?
An exploding book.
Oh, that's nice. An exploding book.
Okay, cool. So not far from Ricky Nelson right here, just one area over is his parents. I just noticed them. So here is Oswald G. Nelson and Harriet H. Nelson. These are the parents, Ozzie and Harriet, from the Ozzie and Harriet show. They are America's first family. So they're here, and then Ricky is right up there. So not far away. America's first family. So it just reminds me of Happiness, the American family. This was in the 50s, right after World War II, and they're raising their children on screen, and they're going through all the turmoils of youth and growing up in America. And Ricky Nelson gets into rock and roll and plays his guitar on national television, and Goodbye Mary Lou. Like, I just love all of that, and to be here with them is just such an honor for me to go in search of them today, to go in search of America's first TV family and to find them today. It just was really an honor. Their mark on American history. TV families today, sometimes you get actual families, and more today it's considered reality television, but sometimes real families will be on television together portraying somewhat of a family dynamic if it's not their exact family, and that's kind of what the Nelsons did. It wasn't really the storyline of their family. It was influenced by it, but they did have their real family, their real wives were on there as well. But yeah, Harriet Nelson, 1909, 1994, and then Oswald Nelson, beloved husband and father, 1906 to 1975. I did not know that it says beloved wife and mother. So about 3 years age difference here. They got their start in radio. I think they were kind of vaudeville actors, singers, and that's kind of how they got their start, and then went to television. And then from television, they kept the show going, and it went for years. And like I said, I would watch reruns of it on the Disney Channel, and I loved it. And then Ricky had his music career, and David did like producing and stuff. Both of them were just so good looking. We found Ozzie and Harriet and Ricky. Let's go find David. So we're here at Westward Memorial Park. It's a little cemetery in the heart of Los Angeles. And here is David Ozzie Nelson, 1936, 2011. Our darling husband and father has gone fishing. It's right here. So this is David Nelson. This is the oldest son of Ozzie and Harriet. Grew up on television, super good looking. Marries June, has children with her. They divorce. She never remarries. He does remarry. But she's on the show as his wife. And yeah, it's just so great to be able to pay my respects to him. So the first family of American television, growing up on TV and doing it in a way that's clean cut and all American and really super great for me to watch growing up as a kid. So I was so happy to find them today, to pay respects to them today, their part in American history. On to my next Walk with History.